And we're live.
I feel like we should use Kyle drinking that stuff in our load stack advertisement.
We could.
Enormous load. Look at this.
But never waste a drop of your own protein.
I was actually wondering if Shopify was going to have some like problem with our label because we just have like cum splatters all over it.
I thought we removed the cum splatters.
No, we kept a tasteful amount of them.
Yeah.
There was this hilarious moment where like it's the four of us and like maybe like the guy who's designing the label for us all in like one chat. And Taylor's like, yeah, I like that. I like the cum splatters. And Derek's like, guys, could we pull back a little on the cum splatters for the credit card processing companies? I don't know if they're going to dig that. And Taylor's just like, could we leave a couple of cum splatters? Like some dribbles, maybe.
Because it's funny.
I know it's funny.
You need more cum splatters for a load stack product.
You know what we should sell? You know what we should sell with the load stack?
What?
Wait, I wish we could like a black light.
Black lights.
like it comes with a like
First
maybe
50 purchases come with an ultraviolet.
Yeah,
light.
the first 50. By the way, I don't know if it's even possible. I don't want to put any extra shit on your plate, but I've got so many people asking to like pre-order it. I don't know if that's in any way.
I'm afraid to like have too many people exceed the demand, and I know that sounds like you don't want people to pay and then not.
Yeah,
I guess hypothetically we could limit it, but we've never done pre-orders for even like the stuff that sells out in 1 minute. So
I understand.
It'll be out in like a couple of weeks, and then
okay,
it'll be good.
Awesome.
I'll make a video plugging it, and I think it'll be a solid launch.
Yeah, we'll all promote it for sure. I think it'll be fun. I mean, look, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It works. Like
It does.
It's shocking. Like women are like the fuck. Like, is it always like this? And I'm like, lately. Like, yeah.
Don't look at my medicine cabinet. This is all me.
I tell them, I'm like, I literally am like part of the manufacturing of a product to make cum loads bigger. And they're like, are you out of your fucking mind? I'm glad there's this thing on Tinder called Moonlight or something like that. It's like a security thing so that like somebody knows where you are. And I feel like they're like, I'm glad I signed up for Moonlight. This guy makes cum pills.
Yeah, there's some of those studies that companies like On It, like Alpha Brain, like some of those companies, they'll fund a study with the university. Like, I don't think it would be out of the question to spend, like, I wouldn't mind spending a decent amount of money to like fund a study where we could like prove like this is how much your load will increase. Like this is
Did you
the before sticker.
All right, so this is super gross, but did you see how maybe the clip of the measurements that I took?
Yeah, you sent a lot of descriptive detail. Yeah,
I went maybe. So I came into condoms and I compared over the period of time, and I drew the semen out of the condoms with a 3 milliliter syringe and measured.
I was like, huh, tastes the same.
I literally measured semen down to the milliliter, actually to the cc. And I want to say, you could go back and like see what I said before because that's like what's accurate. But I remember it being like 9 mils or something like that, like something absurd.
You know, it's another reason that reinforces how potent this shit is you were on TRT, which shuts down your sperm production while you were doing the experiment. So you still had this massive increase even when you're shut down. Like your literal balls that manufacture are shut down right now.
Yeah,
so,
I'm glad. How effective? Oh, this is a great question. How effective of male birth control is my TRT dose?
Not enough for me to give you a green light on that.
Okay, good.
Definitely not.
Good
especially with your carnitine in there, dude. Like you might be fertile right now. Like very.
Oh no.
That's Kyle's worst nightmares.
Yeah. All right, so we're cutting the L-carnitine right out.
That could come with responsibility.
Yeah. But I think people love it.
We worked before we got your obvious like high level of expertise. It was literally just Kyle and I texting back and forth, and I was like, what else do you take for cum? I take zinc, sunflower lecithin. And he's like, sunflower lecithin? And I'm like, yeah, I think the lecithin is a really heavy carrier in this formulation. Then keep adding more and more things, and it got better. I didn't quite do the syringe in the condom thing. I just kind of gave like a, that's a lot of cum.
Yeah. We're literally like at the maximum bottle size you can fit capsules into. Like this is how hectic this thing is. It's gonna be.
Bottle is this big. I keep telling people, and every time I repeat myself, they're like, "Wait, you were serious?" I'm like, yeah, it's a bottle the size of a goddamn football. And it's like, it's 9 capsules a day. Like, look, if we were trying to rip you off with some sort of bullshit product that didn't work, it'd be 1 pill. Okay. It'd come in a bottle that was this big. All right. It'd be like, yeah, take 1 of these a day. You'll be fine. No, we made something that fucking works. And
it's 9 pills down from, I think initially it was 16 pills.
Yeah.
A day.
Which it was to the point where it was like, would we be better off just taking scoops of powder? And
we were gonna do like a pre-workout load stack. Basically, you just have like a fucking shaker full of stuff.
Yeah, but no, it absolutely fucking works. I mean, I take it every day. It's outrageous.
Me too. Well,
really
I'm
funny.
out now. I ran out of my sample packs.
Well, I'm out of like the branded version, but I've got like all the prerequisite ingredients like in individual form. So that's why I'm taking almost 30 pills a day, because I'm taking so many. I'm taking my normal supplementation plus like my homemade load stack. It's ridiculous. Like,
and it works. Yeah, I had people come over and they were like it was in my kitchen, like next to my protein and everything, the creatine, and they're like poking around like, what the hell is a gorilla load stack? And I'm like, it's to make you come more, idiot. They're like, why? And it's like, because it's funny. Because it works. And like, they thought 9 pills was silly, but Kyle hit the nail on the head. Like, that's how you know it's not, made up. Like, that's
this will be good, even for like performance in the bedroom though too. Like the nitric oxide precursor I put in there, like shits on just plain L-arginine, where you'll actually notice a difference in like erectile quality too. So this on top of like your Blue Chew or your Viagra Cialis too, it's a fucking significant difference.
Does it have an impact on blood pressure? Like
you can lower it?
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but like enough.
Yeah, when I'm going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. By the way, load stack here in a couple of weeks, finally.
Awesome.
For real?
Yeah.
The month of
sorry,
August,
it's been such a delayed project from my end. Like, it's literally my fault, and that's just because I put out so much content and I'm like so spread thin that stuff always just falls on the back burner. But it's finally done, and then now that it's done, I can just like reorder every single time, and I don't have to like deal with any kind of weird, is this format of trademarked ingredient in stock or this or that. Like, we can just like do giant orders every time it's out of stock and make sure we're consistently in. I might order another batch right now because I anticipate like our demand, since we talked about it the first time, is so much higher now. Like, I think we might sell out like first week.
We'll see.
I hope you're right. That'd be cool.
Why is it hard to keep things in stock? Like, Gorilla Mine has the best shit, and half the time I want it, I can buy it.
Demand exceeding manufacturing time. The demand has been like this, and manufacturing time stayed the same. So it's like, it's literally a matter of, we can only fit so much shit onto our manufacturing lines to pump out at a time. And some of the stuff, for example, like turkesterone, it's not like I can use regular equipment. We actually use like a specific thing to encapsulate the ingredient with it's called a hydroxypropyl beta cyclodextrin complex, which is like a very advanced preparation thing that we'd like send it across the planet, get it complexed, and then send it back. It's like a very intensive process. So some of the stuff is like, it's not a matter of just like putting it in a fucking bottle and like throwing it out there. It's like, it requires many steps of preparation, and the demand is just like fucking insane. To the point
you outsource the actual manufacturing, I assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're having a hard time getting the manufacturing capacity that you wish you could.
Yeah. Like, we've kind of outgrown our manufacturers' ability to match our demand, essentially. And we have multiple manufacturers, but it's like some of them can only work with certain products. Some of them can only do certain things in certain capacities with certain formats of products. So a lot of it is like being bottlenecked by manufacturing, but we're constantly working on getting that to a point where we're never going to run out. And even if it involves like we're buying actual equipment at this point ourselves and like coordinating with manufacturers to get certain things domestic that we used to have to send it across the planet to get done. So like, it's getting there. It's getting there. And we're going to get to a point where everything's just kind of like on repeat.
So on the spectrum of business owners, right, you've got me, who's kind of a pussy about expansion. I'm always worried about my overhead. I hate to get it to the point where it's like, dude, the first $10,000 in sales every day just goes towards expenses, and then profit starts after that. Like I like a leaner ship.
Yeah.
And then on the other end of the spectrum is, do you remember the Orange County Choppers guys? You probably have seen the Tuttles argue with each other. They were buying a bigger building, it seemed, every week. It was as if they thought that gravy train would never stop, expanding, just doing great. Where are you on that spectrum? Are you like, do we want to add more manufacturing capacity? Is that an investment we want to make, or are we nervous, or are you just like,
no, we're balls deep. Like we just bought like a few acres of land, and we're gonna be building it's like a 50 to 100,000 square foot building on it for escalating our ability to even
100,000 square foot building on a couple acres of land. What country is this in?
Maybe it's 50,000 square foot building. I don't remember, but it's in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, I've got a 10,000. I've got a 10,000 square foot building, and it's big. Like like we're constantly outgrowing our warehouse, so we're getting to a point where it's so expensive to rent warehouses that we might as well just like make our own. So we're just like buying land now and building buildings on top of it. And we're
so this is a warehouse. That's the purpose of this space, or is it manufacturing?
No, this will be warehouse, as well as just like employees filling orders and doing customer service and stuff. But above and beyond that, we want the space in case we expand into manufacturing more to have that space available. So that's where the several acres of land comes into play, where we can kind of like build out as needed rather than consistently jumping like building to new building to new building, like somewhere else kind of thing. Because that's what we've been doing to date.
If you were to invest in your personal manufacturing as opposed to outsourcing it, what products would you manufacture?
Probably we'd focus on our flagship stuff. So that would be, the Gorilla Mode pre-workouts would be the number one. Like capping stuff is a lot easier. So I don't know, maybe we would do the nootropics, and just because it's easier to capsulate stuff than to mix like vats full of powder. I don't know. It kind of depends, because to be honest, it's not like I oversee it directly. So I couldn't tell you like, oh, this is easier to streamline than this. So not really sure, to be honest, but it's definitely like potentially in the pipeline to just get everything localized into like one on-site area rather than having it occurring in like multiple different areas, and have more ability to keep up with the demand.
What's the hardest part of this like enterprise? Is it the marketing, the accounting behind it, the hiring the right people? Like
hiring the right people who are like proactive and do shit without you holding their hand. Like guys, like sometimes there'll be stuff to get done, and something will fuck up, and you'd be like, whose job was this? And it's like, if you didn't tell, and it sounds like a very basic thing, like something, I don't know, like if we're like recently, maybe I shouldn't get into too many specifics.
But you run out of lids, and you're like, who's my lid guy?
Yeah, like for example, something very basic to complete a product, or to, tell customers about something that you would think somebody is taking care of, and then you realize it's not done, and it's totally fucks up and costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars because of one little thing that just like causes a landslide of problems. And then it turns out it's like an employee who just like didn't out of his way to do it because you didn't notify him as an owner, like, hey, this is wrong, you go fix it. Like, we need people who are actually intelligent and go-getters to be like, even alert me that something's wrong, because I don't have the time to fucking, see everything going on. Like, that's the job of whoever is like a manager of this, an employee doing this. If there's some major issue, like, let me know, and then I'll give you a green light if you need my approval, or just go forward with it if it's something basic that needs to be fulfilled. Like not having labels in stock for a product, and then it's like, we can't proceed with manufacturing if there's no labels there. And it's like, well, who's supposed to order the labels? Why haven't they been ordered? And it's like, we're ready to manufacture something, but there's no labels there, so we can't do it. Like that kind of shit. I'm like, we need the guy to be on top of it in terms of not having to hold his hand. And we're getting better at getting the right people in place, but it's been a slow process of finding actual like A team players essentially.
Huh. Yeah, I guess you spend most of your time creating demand and maybe the chemistry. You determine what goes into it, but that seems like a one-time task.
I formulate everything, and I was like coordinating all the manufacturing for a while, and then I've slowly started like outsource even like ordering the stuff. But I still oversee almost all the formulations. Some of them will have, like random stuff that people want to make. Like we're coming out with a mushroom formula that's like lion's mane and some other kind of like exotic herbs and whatnot, because it's really popular right now. People like lion's mane for like nerve growth factor increase and stuff like this. That kind of stuff, if it's not like a hyper specific, like a product that I'm really passionate about, I will let somebody else formulate it and I'll kind of just look at it and give a green light. If I think it's, hits kind of the checks the boxes of what's effective, I'll be like, okay, like I can put my name behind that. But a lot of it is still me manually doing it. And that's partially what bottlenecks us too sometimes, and is a problem of my own time management. For example, load stack, I had to make sure some of the ingredients were like trademarked formats of it and high quality ingredients. I wanted to have like a really effective nitric oxide precursor in there, because the original load stack, when you looked it up on the forums way back in the day, they use arginine in the load stack, which is like a very ineffective way of causing vasodilation. It's like the least effective way to actually get your blood arginine levels up, which sounds really weird. It's sort of like the bioavailability thing we talked about earlier, where you take carnitine, but you only get so much carnitine out of it. So like if you were trying to raise your arginine levels and get like vasodilation to your dick and get like very potent effects, you need something you can fit in a capsule with very little space that is still going to be potent, like a 10 gram of like L-citrulline or something. You're very limited. So like that's where my expertise comes in, to be like, okay, what can we fit in here? Can we still have it in a reasonable capsule amount? Will that fit in a bottle? Let's make sure we get this ingredient, because I don't want like a shitty version of, fill in the blank nutrient. I want like a bioavailable version of, this ingredient. That kind of stuff is all like I'm doing, calling the shots on that. And sometimes it bottlenecks us though, because I'm doing like 2 videos a day on my channel, which I need to keep my demand up, which then also is how I recruit athletes to my program and whatnot, because they want to work with, the fastest growing brand in the, industry right now, and just work with me in general, because I actually help these guys like personally a lot too with their own stuff, whether it's, different things in their lives. So a lot of this is like contingent upon me making sure I maintain all this other stuff that's totally separate to me being just like the formulator / owner. So sometimes shit like falls off the wayside, and that's where I'm just trying to outsource as much as I physically get focus here. I'm trying to outsource as much as I physically can. And it gets, even like the process of hiring somebody, it's so time intensive that you can be like, fuck, like I don't even want to go figure out how to find that guy. And
not just outsource, but delegate, it sounds like is part of it,
Yeah.
So where is your staff? Are they in Boise? Or it sounds like it's pretty global.
We have interestingly enough, there's only 2 of us are in Canada, which is where I live, but our warehouse that has like dozens of employees is in Boise, Idaho, whereas where our warehouse is. And that's where my business partner, he kind of like oversees stuff in person. So fortunately for me, I don't have to physically be present there to oversee the employees, make sure there's nothing going wrong with like shipping and like FedEx and very like, day-to-day stuff. So I'm more like big picture, marketing, formulation, make big decisions kind of thing. But the day-to-day shit all happens in Boise, Idaho, as well as in some different states. We have some individuals that work remotely and whatnot. But for the supplement company, it's basically all Boise, Idaho. For the Merrick Health, that's like all over the place because it's telemedicine. So that's like a totally different business model entirely.